Oh, thanks for joining me. I'm doing a video on Tafoni and the theory of Tafoni, which I totally 100% disagree with. This is Tafoni here, and I'm going to go out and do some... I've done lots of videos on Tafoni. I've got lots of hours in research in this stuff. And I don't believe Tafoni is from... They believe it's from eons of erosion. I don't believe that at all. I believe Tafoni can be decay, it can be a membrane, it can be... It's biological in my opinion, and eons of erosion doesn't cause it, it actually removes it. And I have 100% evidence of this. So I'm going to get into it, and I went out today and did some video and some research work, and I'm going to bring it to you now, so stick with me and we'll take a look at Tafoni and what I believe it's biological, not geological theory. Alright, thank you. Well, hello and good morning. She's colder than a well digger's wallet, but I'm going to do a video on the theory of Tafoni. Okay, this here came from up on the mountain. All them right there, them huge boulders, came from up on the mountain. So I'm going to be doing a video here explaining the theory of Tafoni and what I believe it actually is. I do not believe it's a geological process. There's a little bit of it here. But all these came from way up there. First I'm going to walk over here, and then I'm going to go way up there. We're about 225, 230 feet in elevation. There's Tafoni on this right here. Well, I'll come back to that. I'm going to go over here and show you something first. Okay, so we're about 225, 230 feet in elevation. The ocean's that direction, the river's flowing this direction. They would have probably said that this river cut this valley, which is not true. A lot of what I'm going to show you is sandstone. And so the ocean's about 25 miles that direction, okay? So for one thing, if the rivers cut this, even if it was a great flood, you would have watermarks in the sandstone from the erosion. And we don't have that at all. Plus, we have a southwest dominant wind and storms. We don't have northerly storms. This is all on that face right there is on the north side. It's not facing the weathered side. So I'm going to come back to that. First, we're going to go up on the mountain about another 125, 130 feet in elevation. And then I'm going to come back down to this and show you what Tafoni really is. They believe Tafoni is just erosion from eons of weathering. And like this right here, there's no watermarks anywhere. You would have watermarks, and you don't have any watermarks from erosion. And even from the river, whatever it might be. You understand what I'm saying? Flooding, because this river goes up and down flooding. We just had a flood, now it's gone back down. You'd have watermarks, erosion taking that off. What I believe Tafoni is now, because I really don't find any with erosion from water, and what I believe it actually is membranes and decay, and the erosion is actually removing it, not the creator of it. Okay, it's not created from erosion, eons of erosion. So I'm gonna climb up on the mountain here and show you some more Tafoni and show you that it's not caused from water and erosion, and it's actually biological and not a geological process. Okay, so this is going to be a two-part video, and part one will be up on the mountain, part two will be back down at that piece there. That piece there that I just showed you, that big one, it came from up here and rolled down to there. All these did. Okay, let's take a look at this here before I crawl up on the mountain. Die! See, this is Tafoni. See this? And all of them have it on them where they're stuck together, and I believe it's a membrane. Now, if this was all taken down from water, you'd have lines going across her from watermarks from erosion. This came from up on top of the mountain, okay? And I believe it's like a synovial membrane or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I believe it is. And I have more than enough evidence to prove my theory. So this thing's massive. I mean, it's huge. I mean, Okay, so we're gonna some tough getting around. So I'm gonna try to weasel my way up into there, about another 100 feet, 125 feet in elevation. So all these massive boulders came from up on top of this mountain and rolled down to here. All right. Battery's getting low. Gotta change that pot liquor. Boy, she's steep and rocky. Kind of got a flat spot here, and then it gets really steep to get up in there. So, I do not believe Tafoni is from a geological process. I believe it's from a biological process. I believe it's biology, and I believe most of it's membranes or decay, and it's not caused from eons of erosion. Boy, it's steep. All right, man, I gotta put this away and use both hands. Whew, getting fat and out of shape. We may be about another, we may end up being about 400 feet in elevation when she's all said and done. But we'll try to weasel up in there and look at some of this Tafoni. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Man, she gets kind of rough going in some places. Really slick, get a lot of leaves on the ground. It's supposed to rain here in a little while. Hopefully I'll be done by then. Whew! What kind of size that root was? That tree. It's a big old tree. Blow down, big blow down. I'm the only one that ever comes up in here. No humans have been up in here. There's no reason for them to come up in here. I just swallowed a fern. Whew! Yeah, we're more than 100 feet above where I was down there. So we're gonna run to some Tafoni right here, and we'll have it underneath there too. So no water ran in the seams, and it's caused this because you'd have to have a lot of water running in, and they're too tight of seams. So you have no water marks where they could say, well, that's from erosion, water erosion, from, you know, the rivers running that way, oceans that way. You'd have lines from the water making marks, and you don't. Whew, that's quite a climb. You see what I'm talking about? And it's protected. We do have storms. That's the southwest, or southeast, I'm sorry, south-southeast. North is that direction. I have some on the north side, and that's not where the dominant storms come from. So it wouldn't be from that erosion. And not only that, but something's popped out of here, was sitting in here, and see, it's right here. Any place these things come together, see how they run out like this? Water wouldn't run that way in towards the... It'd be running this way, because that's the direction of the water. And where elevation's flowing that way, water don't run uphill. So, and you also have sulfur. I don't believe that's a... Actually, that's a lichen. That's a type of a fungus or something, I believe. That's not sulfur, I don't think. Don't smell like it. So anyway, any place where these come together, these rocks or whatever they might be, they have a membrane in between them. Okay. Okay, here's the one to show you. This is facing the north side. That's north. So and it's really protected in here, so it's not getting any storm. And look at this. Okay. You don't see any water. Whoops. You don't see any water lines running this way from erosion. You don't see it where it's coming up buffeting it. So you see what I'm talking about? This is some kind of a membrane, and I'll show you down there on that great big piece down below where it's actually like a plate. So it'd be a membrane. You understand what I'm saying? Like some kind of synovial membrane or something. Not the same as lipid and bilipid membranes at all. It's actually laying this way, not this way. So you can see where there was something on here and it's come off. Same thing down here. And there's even stuff way up there like 100 feet higher that I can see that I can't get to. Well, probably 50 to 75 feet higher. You can even see it in here. It's not from water. And this is sandstone. So water would definitely be cutting lines in it, you understand? Because the water's flowing that direction. And it would flow and cut lines in it to erode it down. Well, the water just wasn't there long enough to cut lines in it. Then the water wasn't there long enough to erode it either. I'm not going to go over there because it's a pain to get to. So I'm going to head back down. This will be part one. I'll show you, and then we'll have part two of that piece down below. So watch part two. And yeah, this is the main piece I wanted to come show you. No human beings come up in here. In fact, I was the first one to ever come up in here. I've seen no footprints, no tracks. Cougar lay in some of this. Their dens further around the corner. So here's that big root water, this tree that blew over. Whew. You're a long way down. That's a river down there, flowing that way. It didn't cut none of these marks in this. Absolutely not. I can't even begin to tell you how many hours I have in Tafoni research. And I do not believe their theory of eons of erosion caused it. Erosion's actually, what I find is erosion is removing it, not the cause. All right, stay tuned for part two as I gotta get down off this pot liquor. What do you think? All righty. That's pretty cool. Big slide in a log jam. Whew, there's some nice firewood. Too bad it's so far up in here. Look at that. Well, that pot liquor slid out. Man, that just happened last winter. Look at that. Man, those are huge trees too, old growth. This is all new. I wonder how slick that is. Looks pretty slick. The size of that old growth. Thing's about 6 foot on the butt. Still got roots attached. I don't want to crawl up in there. It's pretty dangerous. Oh, man. Just slid this valley out. This draw. Boy, this is some nice firewood here, I'll tell you what. Roots and all. Roots still attached to them. Wind blew them over. We had a major storm last winter. In fact, we were cut off on both ends. Couldn't get nowhere for 4 days. No power for 7. I was just up around that corner right there. Yeah. Don't want to slip and bust my hind end here. I don't have any cork boots on. Cork boots is what you use when we're logging. Spikes in the bottom. Man, there's some nice firewood. Probably go to prison for getting it though. Alright, I'm gonna try to get out of here. Do part 2 video.